So, some things in the news. Let's get this one out of the way first. Rashee Rice. An arrest warrant has been issued for Rashee Rice. He has been charged with 6 counts of collision involving bodily injury, 1 count of aggravated assault, 1 count of collision involving serious bodily injury. And his lawyers and the report says that he was driving the Lamborghini. Does he play in 2024?
I think he plays because nobody died. I know that the mom of a 4-year-old was sent to the hospital. Walking away was the dumbest thing he could do. Street racing would be the dumbest. Then walking away. He would actually be in more trouble per his lease agreement. Had he been in the vehicle with someone else driving, they could have elevated each of the 6 charges in the state of Texas. That's what I have read. That's my understanding of it. I don't pretend to be a lawyer. David, I will just always lean on the fact the NFL, I've watched people kill people and still play. I always lean on he'll play. Mm-hmm. Now, do I think there's a lengthy suspension in here? Sure. I mean, if poor J-Mo can get popped by some stupid gambling rule, then I'd like to believe there has to be a price to pay.
So
here.
you think a 6-game suspension?
Sure.
Something like that?
Sure. But I will always err on he'll play. Yeah. He'll have very expensive lawyers. He will fight this tooth and nail. It will be a drawn-out process. I think he plays.
I mean, the weirdest thing was he literally just walked away, gathered his stuff, didn't run. Him and his boys just went down the side of the freeway, and as people recorded them.
Right. Like, what's your plan here exactly? Don't know.
Rico, this next one is for you. As you go around and you see high school prospects and they have dreams of maybe making the NFL, if you happen to run into a future quarterback there, give them this news from Russell Wilson. For me, to be able to go to back-to-back Super Bowls and win one for them, I think opened up a lot of doors. Now you see guys like Patrick Mahomes who've won it. It's really, I opened up the door for black quarterbacks.
Oh, I hate this man so much.
What is this guy thinking?
Wait, he did not say that.
Yes,
David.
he did.
David, you're Kenny. I'm calling a flag. Is this for real, Kenny? No, I'm not listening to you. Kenny, please. Is this real?
I've seen it. David has shown it to me. It is absolutely real.
Listen, when I think of the true liberators, I think of Dr. Martin Luther King, I think of the Mahatma, and I think of Russell Wilson.
When you think of quarterback, do you think of Russell Wilson first?
No.
Or do you think of Doug Williams and Warren Moon and Randall Cunningham?
Right, we're just going to forget about Doug Williams. Seriously, he actually won the Super Bowl.
MLK.
Right.
Russ.
I'm just saying, like, they literally asked Doug Williams, like, how long have you been a black quarterback? He's like, all my life.
Frederick Douglass. Russell Wilson.
Malcolm X.
Russell Wilson.
Russell standing behind the curtain.
I think Russell Wilson, honestly.
He didn't say real.
No. And I mean this. It's not a joke. I think he's lost his. I think somewhere he lost his mind, and is just surrounded by people that allow the delusion. He's insane.
You may be right, because literally he wants the NFL and I guess Mahomes and every black quarterback to send him a thank you card.
For what? Doing the worst sandwich commercial ever?
Thanks to you, Russ, I never would have known that I could do this. Forget what happened decades before you.
Man.
Wow.
Man.
Well, that's funny. It leads me into the next story here, where we will have 2 black quarterbacks playing in Brazil on September 6th. That is the first Friday of the NFL season. Jordan Love and the Green Bay Packers will face.
Will the Steelers be there? Because if the Steelers aren't there, then it doesn't matter, because Russ needs to be there. That's right.
How could we not take the man who started the black quarterback movement, Russ Wilson?
Don't you know that Russell helped discover Brazil?
So now we'll get
to hell with Harriet Tubman, Russ Wilson.
Right. Russell Wilson and the Underground Railroad.
Who needs Claudette Colvin? Russ Wilson.
So we will get the
Russell
opener.
ain't giving up his seat on the bus.
We'll get the opener on Thursday. Then we have a game on Friday.
What apparatus do I have to download to watch this game?
It doesn't say.
Peacock?
It doesn't say. It just says they'll open up September 6th.
So why are we opening up in Brazil? Seriously?
International game, Michael.
Yeah, but that should not be the opener, and it shouldn't involve 2 playoff teams opening the season. I don't like it.
So it's not going to be a Thursday night game. it's just going to be that one on Friday, or is it going to be
No,
Thursday
there's
and
going to
Friday?
be a Thursday game. There's going to be that Friday game and probably 2 Monday night games for the opening weekend.
Because in the world of the NFL, Michael, less is more, or more is more. Let's just keep having more and more games, because what are you going to say? No, I don't want more football? That's what they believe. Now, the game there, I mean, I would be upset. Whose home game is it?
I believe it's the Eagles' home game.
I would be upset.
Yeah.
I mean, either you fly to that game or you can go and see the rest of the games, because you're not going to be able to do both. But, hey.
John Lewis, Russ Wilson. Tough. Push. Push.
Well, let's talk about this.
Wasn't it Russell Wilson on the stand at the Olympics raising his fist?
Right. Jackie Owens, Russ Wilson.
Let's touch on this.
David has always said Rosa Parks was overrated. Maybe David was on to something.
Because Russell did it first.
Right.
Let's touch on this news here that we did not get a chance to touch on yet this week. But Josh Allen received a huge deal from the Jacksonville Jaguars. New 5-year deal, $150 million, $88 million guaranteed. He is now the second highest edge rusher in the NFL.
He had an unbelievable year. He's had a productive career. This is what edge rushers cost. You want to sign a 25-year-old edge rusher who's going to get you 15 sacks a year? Here's what it costs. The only thing I would say as it relates to the Lions is by the time you're going to pay Aiden, if Aiden is remotely improves over the next year or two, you're going to be talking about Aiden Hutchinson getting the same deal, except it's going to be 25% more expensive.
Yep.
The cap will go up. The deals go up with it.
Yeah, you don't want to look at the dollar figure, because proportionally it'll be the same. Because it's like, oh my God, it's like with Goff, like he may make $50 million. Yeah, but you got to look at the totality. It's not that much.
So a couple things about the draft before we close this out. First thing here, I need you to craft a deal, because the Raiders team owner has said he's given his blessing for Pierce and Telesco to make a move, any move for a quarterback, so long as it makes sense. They have been heavily linked to Jaden Daniels, who probably goes in the top 3. What deal makes sense to get from 13 to maybe 2?
David, without having their entire draft table, I just remember they gave up so much to get Russ, and they have so much dead money. Yes, they have to take a quarterback. The problem is they're 13th, and do they even have a first-round pick next year? Look, if they had a first-round pick next year, this is a very easy answer to me. You take the first, you take pick 13, and you got to go higher than the Vikings go. That's it. I don't have another answer.
Yes, the Raiders do have a first-round pick next year and the year after.
I thought you were talking Broncos. David, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I thought we were talking Broncos. I apologize to everybody. Raiders, no-brainer. You play in Las Vegas. You are an absolute attraction.
First round this year, first round next year.
You do what needs to be done. Yes, because, Rico, think about it. Las Vegas, it's a show. You have to have a reason for people to be there, and it can't always be the opposition. They need a quarterback. You can't trot Aiden O'Connell out there. I would say yes.
He's becoming a fan favorite.
Well, good for you. Enjoy that.
Yeah, he's going to be awful. Then let's get to this one to close it out here.
He's no Russell.
Because Adam Schefter kind of...
I love how I just confused AFC West rivals. Maybe the dementia is setting in.
It is what it is.
Mike, they all look the same.
But Adam Schefter kind of brought up...
Come on, man. That is not remotely relevant.
He brought up something here with the Dallas Cowboys about their future at quarterback, with Dak having a contract situation and them not doing much in free agency. My question, could Dallas be a sleeper at 24 for Michael Penix Jr.?
I hope not, because I'd be forced to hate him, and that would make me sad. I have no idea what the Cowboys are doing right now. I as a franchise, it seems like they're running an off-season, Rico, like much like Doug is trying to kill Gator with the temperature in this room. I think it's like they want McCarthy fired.
They do. And everybody's on the same page when it comes to the coach, but I will say this. I think that Dallas is really going with smartest man in the room syndrome. David, I don't think it's Michael Penix. I think there's a quarterback out there. You may laugh at me, but because they did it with Dak in later rounds.
Michael Pratt, maybe, Tulane.
Spencer Rattler,
Oh, no.
South Carolina, or Joe Milton from Tennessee. Two guys who will be around with that fourth-round selection or fifth-round selection. Dallas did it before. They believe they can do it again. They're not going to move up. They'll get one of those two guys and says, you know what, you got kind of like what the Lions did with Hendon Hooker. We're going to give you a little runway, learn the game, and then when your time comes, we're going to tap you on the shoulder and you better be ready. Same that happened with Dak. Think about that. They took him late, they didn't rush him, but when it was his time, he took over.
That is an interesting theory, and that is in football today.